Hello, it's Scrapple and Amy, and I'm back with another video. In this video, we're going to make some fun Halloween tags. I actually made these tags in 2019 for a swap, and I'm just getting around to doing the process video for it. But anyway, I have these images that are so cute. They're Stamp Boutique images. As you can see, I have two colored up here, and I wasn't sure which one I was going to go with. I decided to go with the little bat girl because if you don't know, I love bats for Halloween. I think they're just so cute. And so this was part of a swap like I had mentioned, and it was like an anonymous swap. It was the Grim Reaper swap. And so I didn't know the person who I was going to send this out to, but we did have to fill out like this little like form just to like tell people, just to let our swap buddy know what our do's and our don'ts were, like, you know, what we were into and stuff like that. And my swap buddy at the time was into vintage Halloween, which was something completely new and something that I hadn't done before. So I was super excited and extremely nervous about making this swap because I want it to be good and stuff like that. So I just put, I don't know, I overthink things. I have a tendency to overthink things. So I was just put a lot of pressure on myself and kind of like stress myself out unnecessarily. So I was like trying to think, how am I going to make a vintage Halloween tag? And with me, I think vintage and I think junk journal are very similar. So I just kind of watched some junk journal videos and got some inspiration from there. And I just watched like a variety of junk journals just to kind of get into it then. So in junk journal, they do a lot of collaging. So I was like, oh, that'd be fun. So I picked up these fun papers at Michael's last year for Halloween. I didn't see them this year, unfortunately, and they're so cute. I actually went back and bought another pack just because I had so much fun with this. They're so cute, and all I'm doing is tearing them up. I didn't want to tear up all of them because some of them are just so cute. And I'm just putting a bunch of fun little colors. And I want the thing with me, I want to have them upside down. And I wanted to incorporate yellows and browns mainly with a hint of the green because I wasn't sure if I was going to use the green image or the Batgirl of the Stamp Boutique images. I wasn't sure which one I was going to use. I had a feeling I was going to go with the Batgirl, but just in case I wasn't, I was going to, I wanted to incorporate a little bit of green. So that was like my only thing when I was actually adhering down the papers. What I was thinking was just like the color scheme because I really wanted it to be a little bit, I like to have my stuff to be a little bit cohesive. So yeah, so I just used the paper from Michael's, and I also put on that washi tape, the spiderweb washi tape, just because it's really, really cool and I like it. It's kind of like a little bit see-through and transparent. So once I collaged that down, I think I don't even remember what I did. These were from last year ago, so my swap buddy already got them. I think that's also why, because I wanted my swap buddy to get her stuff first before I showed it. And I'm just making this reinforcer hole for the tag. This is a real Memory Keeper's punch, and I got it at Michael's, and actually pretty expensive for just this one little circle thing, but it actually doesn't even work that good, which I'm really surprised because I feel like Real Memory Keepers is a really good brand, but for some reason my punch always gets stuck. I need to like get a new one, but it's like I said, surprisingly, it's really expensive for just this little hole punch, like reinforceable punch, so I haven't bought one yet because, right now Michael's isn't really giving out any good coupons. So eventually I will get there, hopefully maybe for like Black Friday, even though I don't think we're going to have Black Friday this year, but hopefully they'll have like a 40% off so I can go and get a new punch, because like I said, it always gets super stuck. Like, it's so hard to get that out. And this is just a 3x4 cut apart sheet, and I really like the saying of it, so I decided to just use the saying portion of it. I like to have, typically I feel like I'm very like image dependent on my pen pal stuff, or like my just like on my projects. I like to have an image and I like to have a quote. I don't know, I just like, it's hard for me not to work around those two things. But I really like this this little cut apart sheet with the saying. So, and thankfully I didn't have to stamp anything out because I have stamps too. So, and here I'm just messing around with it. So like I'm just messing around with the layout of it, because I feel like that's honestly what takes the longest for almost everybody, is just the actual laying it out and seeing where you like these little things. And I just decided to go with a really thin black line around them just to like enhance the word a little bit. And I did see these like faux little stitch marks on them, which I think really added a lot to it. I like to do that for Halloween products in particular. So once this was dry, I went in with my Distress inks. I freaking love Distress inks. I feel like I'm like the only one who still uses Distress inks because everyone's moved on to the Distress oxides. But I have just small area. It's not like the smallest, but I don't have like a full craft room, so I just don't have the storage for it. But also, I still like my Distress inks. Like, I don't even want to try the Distress Oxide because I don't want to get addicted or anything like that to them. I feel like the need to change out my Distress inks. I like how they come in the small little minis. I think that's like the perfect size. But anyway, so I just distressed around the edges, and I got this this was new last year. This is the Echo Park stencil and its bats, and I loved it because they have like the bats like flocking and straight edge and flying and in different directions. I really like that. It wasn't just like a stencil with like uniform bats. Like I just like that it was just kind of like everywhere. And here I'm just using my modeling paste and then adding some black paint to it to make it so I can make it be black. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time to talk. Sorry about that. So I'm just running it through the stencil. It did kind of pill up a little bit extra, like when I pilled up the stencil it kind of moved a little bit, so it wasn't like exactly perfect, and I hate that, but I'm still happy with it. This is the second tag that I made. So basically with this, I'm just showing you the second tag. I did the exact same thing as the first one with like the whole collaging, and instead of the bat stencil I went in with a chicken wire stencil. So that's like the only difference. So here I'm showing you both of them. So one had the bat one and then the other one had the chicken wire stencil. So I'm just figuring out which image is going to go to which location, which tag. Oh my god, I'm getting so tongue tied right here. I'm sorry, you guys. So here I'm just going to be playing around with things until I like it. And like I said, this obviously takes the longest because sometimes it's better when you don't have so many supplies, because then it goes quicker because then it's limited. Your choices are limited. And then other times when you have like, you know, a lot more options, you kind of like drive yourself crazy. So like I said earlier, I am very image dependent on Happy Mail and just like kind of like holiday stuff and like even like cards. And so I really wanted, so even though I could have easily gone with two Snap Boutique images on both the tags, I kind of challenged myself just to use ephemera because I have on some Tim Holtz ephemera. And it was so cute and I really liked it. So I decided to kind of challenge myself to not use an actual stamped image on this. And instead I did some layering work, collage work, I guess, on this. So that's what I'm doing on this particular tag. So, and again, I also don't really use a lot of trim. I think trim is so pretty and I love the way people use it, like trimmer / ribbon. I just don't, I have a hard time using it. So I challenged myself to kind of go out of my box. Like, I guess I've already been challenging myself because I did vintage, but I just want to challenge myself a little bit more. And I decided to do some layering work. And that's what I'm doing here. And I really like the way it came out with. And I just used a bunch of the Tim Holtz ephemera that he came up with last year again. And I just, like I said, I just messing around with it until I like everything. And honestly, guys, once I like something, I try to glue it down. So I'm just kind of like left with it instead of having to like keep looking and like, oh, I like this, but it could be this way or it could be this way. So once I like something and I really like it, then I'll just kind of like glue it and boom and move on. So I don't have to like overthink it like I have a tendency to do. So, and I'm just putting on some really fun little gems just to finish it off. And like I said, this was very this I just kind of like did layering on the bottom portion of this tag because I wanted the bats on the top to kind of peek out, and of course the collage work. And like I said, I love bats so much, so just to finish it off I added a bat on the very top because it's so cute. I love it. I honestly add bats like to finish projects off all the time. Like, to me they're just wonderful little accents. So I kind of went back and forth between cutting it off completely or leaving it on, and I decided to have some overhang on this particular tag, and I do like the way it ended up turning out. So the next tag is I'm going to do the second one. I'm just going to finish that one off with playing with the images and just kind of finicking with it until I like it. So I was so sure I was going to use this quote with the little Batgirl, but it's funny how things work out because I ended up using it for this Stamp Boutique image, and it was the green one. So the background on this one is more green because it was a green image, and I was gonna, you know, have a green saying as well, but it didn't work out that way, which is fine. I still like the way it came out. And these are also the little pumpkins down there are also from the Stamp Boutique stamp, which I think are really, really cute. But I didn't really like the way they were looking, so I tried some other options. Here's some a skull one that I like. This is the cube. I think it's like a Halloween cube number 2 because they have 1 and 2. And always, you guys, make sure to color around your image with a black marker because it really, really does help stand it out, and it just makes the image look so much cleaner than if you don't like it. Like for me, like I have to do it all the time. So I really like the way these skulls looked, but they were just too starky white against this muted background, and they just didn't work out. And I don't know why, looking back on it, I didn't stamp it on craft paper at all, because I think it would have worked out on craft paper, but that's in hindsight, right? So I can't go back. So anywho, I decided not to go with anything on the bottom just because, like I said, it was too starky white, and I just wasn't a fan of the pumpkins. It does look cute looking back on it now, but at the time I just didn't really like it. But oh well, it worked out in the end. So I'm just going to finish these off with some gemstones and rhinestones, and then that's going to be it. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I apologize for all the background noise you may have possibly heard. Could not have been avoided, but again, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.